right, this is the Wrestling Doctor from Pro Wrestling Extra. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite wrestlers today. And let me tell you, what this guy's doing, nobody else is doing. He stands head and shoulders above what anybody is doing as a character. And let me tell you what, he is good at what he does. This is Maxwell Chicago. Maxwell, thank you for being with me here.
It's my pleasure.
Doing this interview. I know that you went to a wrestling school, prestigious wrestling school. Would you like to mention?
I went to a pro wrestling school in Tallahassee, taught by Marty Jannetty. I was a star pupil. And I wasn't, you know, everybody's talking about wrestling. I'm not a wrestler. I'm a sports entertainer, and that's what I'm the best sports entertainer in the South, you see, or in the United States for that matter. And that's what the world is missing. You got all this wrestling stuff. I'm a sports entertainer.
Okay, so he's doing the opposite of what, you know, he really is. He's a wrestler. He was trained correctly. He was trained in a school that knew what they were talking about.
Yep, Marty Jannetty was a top trainer. He was there every practice, and he took personal care of all the guys there, and that's how I learned.
And it's good. How many years have you been in the business?
It's looking like 7 right now.
Ooh, 7. That's a pretty good amount of time. I've been interviewing guys that only been in a couple of years and stuff, so you've been at it. How many different characters have you been in 7 years?
Maxwell Chicago is the only character I've ever been. If that is a character, I think it's pretty much myself, but I've never been anything else other than Maxwell Chicago.
That is the believability about that character, is that that's you. You're not pretending to be Maxwell. You are Maxwell.
No, a lot of people think that I'm ridiculous outside or just inside the ring, but I'm just as ridiculous outside of the ring.
All right, so you've been in there 7 years. You were trained by Marty Jannetty in Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay, did you work for some of the promotions around Tallahassee? You want to mention some names you started with?
There was a Capital City Wrestling, which was the premier North Florida wrestling organization running, and that's where I started. And then I went to other little kind of leagues in North Florida, and then spread out through Georgia and Alabama. But that's basically where I started, in Capital City Wrestling, North Florida.
So you've been out, paid some dues, been up and down the roads, and learned about the business.
Yeah, those Georgia and Alabama, North Florida shows, that was all paying dues for many years. Many paying dues, many years. That's how Georgia and Alabama are.
So when you started, you had the suit and everything from the beginning? Or
no, I got the suit in, I'm going to say 2010, early 2010. But I always did the lounge singing gimmick, or not gimmick, because I really do sing. You know, I opened for Blue Man Group in Miami. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
I opened for Blue Man Group in Miami.
Could we hear a little bit right now?
Well, maybe at the end of the interview I'll sing us out.
Oh, okay, great.
But yeah, I had the suit. 2010 is when I got it. I made it with my mother, and I'm not embarrassed to say that.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, now so we've talked a little bit about the wrestling business, the independent wrestling business, which right now is doing some suffering with the recession going on, and the hundreds of promotions, small promotions running today. It's really hard. There's a lot of jobs open, but it's really hard for a promoter to get those people to spend the money to buy those tickets.
Yeah, well, it's just tough times right now with the economy and everything. You know, hopefully things get better, but right now you just gotta, you know, push on through to things get better.
Well, in my day, when I wrestled, it was all territories. So, you know, when you went and worked for somebody, they ran numerous towns, and we had television, so the television went out, everybody was familiar, and they followed the storylines. Today's, it's unusual for a storyline to last longer than one show. You don't see too many storylines that are dragged on, and fans get invested in it and come back to see it again and again as the storyline goes on. Have you been able to establish yourself with a group and get a storyline like that lasted?
It's really hard. You gotta, when you get to a company, you gotta do what they say. You gotta play by their rules. You know, I like to go out there and pay attention to the crowd and, you know, give them what they deserve, which is Class A entertainment, which is what I provide. But you just gotta listen to what they say. I'd like long stories, you know, but you gotta go with the tide and do the best you can.
I really think that somebody should be able to see the talent that you've got and invest into this storyline and keep going with you, because, you know, you watch you on one show, great character, great talent, great ability in the ring, but you don't get a chance to come back. You know, that's what I want to see. I want to see Maxwell Chicago be his dirtiest. Not that you're dirty.
No,
you just do some things that may not be above board all the time, but you have to win.
Well, by any means necessary.
I would like to see you win, or I would like to see you...
I would like to see me win too. It's few and far between, folks.
Well, I would like to see come back to something, so that it's not just one show. That I want to see Maxwell Chicago be invested in by the fans, and they want to see him on the next show and the next show, because they want to see his come up. They want to see the baby get him, and people just aren't doing it. They throw you out there, and they're not utilizing your talent and your ability in there, and I think that needs to be done.
Well, you know, like I said, I try to do my best with wherever company I go to and whatever they want me to do. I'll try to go out there and do my best. If they have another show and the budget's a certain way, or they don't have a story that's going that week, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. I'd like to come back and have a story with people. You know, I'm in Georgia for the first time in a long time. I'd like to come back. Hopefully I'll come back next time. But if not, I'm just going to concentrate on tonight and doing my best for however many fans are in the seats tonight. That's what I want to do.
You're holding yourself?
Yeah, that's what a veteran and a real wrestler, that's a wrestler, not just a sports entertainer, does. And I want to thank you for sitting down with me. I've enjoyed this. I told you I would make it tough on you. So we stayed with what needed to be said, and I appreciate it.
Well, you know, I can answer all kinds of questions. You got any personal questions?
No. No, Eddie.
I'm free to all the ladies.
And no, I wasn't going to ask that. But,
And I'm a great dancer.
singing, yeah, singing.
Singing,
You were
yeah.
going to sing for us on the way.
What's the name of the show again, Carl?
This is Pro Wrestling Extra.
We're here at Pro Wrestling Extra. Thanks for watching the best. Maxwell Chicago wishes you the rest of the weekend to be good.
This is the Wrestling Doctor. Thank you.